Yo, the CNO's in the building tonight. Now, teams are getting desperate, man. I mean, desperate. The Boston Celtics are one of those teams. Teams are getting out of control. They're going up and down when it's coming to picking people. As this trade deadline is March the 25th, people are really, and it's people involved in trade that talks that people have never even spoke about. I'm serious. Y'all finna hear about it right now. None of these experts has even been talking about it. Now, for the past, I would say for the past year, big men, power forwards, they've never been the real big factors of trades. This season, the power forward or a guy who would normally be the power forward in the center has been the center of all talks. That's right. Hit the like button. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page if you're new here. Everybody should be hitting the like button coming through the door. Now, everyone knows about Brooklyn and the Lakers. That's the only two teams that people care about. But there's actually other teams in the NBA who care about getting better. Now, the Pistons have a player on their team that people have been questioning, asking questions about. Because they see the Pistons have basically had a fire sale all season long. Well, the thing is this, the fire sale that they had is actually, no, it's not Thon. I don't even know if Thon is on the team anymore, but no, the player is Nathan Plumlee. Plumlee averages about 10 or 9 points a game. He's a great rebounder. He did great for Denver. And Denver has suffered without him being there as that backup and supporting cast for the Joker. Now, Plumlee, other teams have been inquiring about him. The Boston Celtics want him on their team. He signed a 3-year, $22 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. So it's not like he's absorbing a lot of money. The Boston Celtics could use him. They really want him because he's a big man who can pass, and they feel that he could bring some stability to the middle. Something that they used to have with Baines. Baines is not there anymore, so that stability in the middle is kind of gone. But the Detroit Pistons have not given an indication that Plumlee is one of the guys they want to get rid of. Which I don't think they should. You keep Plumlee. You build it with the right pieces. The Lakers and Nets are in a tug of war for Andre Drummond. They're trying to see if the Cavs are going to roll the dice and keep him on the team and pay him, or just buy him out and get rid of him. Brooklyn feels that they're number one to land him before any other team. What's good, bro? I see you, Lucian. Yes, the Cash App is Carcino. If you want to support the page, I appreciate it. We don't have a super chat here. Absolutely. I agree with everything you just said. But let's get to the gist of it, right? The Brooklyn Nets, they're also looking into JaVale McGee. So is the Los Angeles Lakers. Both are looking at JaVale McGee to see what happens there also. Now, Kevin Durant has played with JaVale. He injured Kevin Durant before because he's clumsy. But they know each other and they play very well together. So, they won 2 NBA championships together when they both were on Golden State. So both players are being looked at. No, Aldridge is already in play. I mean, it's a lot of teams that are trying to get LaMarcus Aldridge. Most of them are not. They're mostly East Coast. Like, we've heard Tobias Harris' name being mentioned in the trade, but nothing really solid. But the people that they're trying to get rid of or trying to move around, those players are the ones that people don't normally see or talk about. LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Take care. There are other teams that are looking to grab him to make a move. Memphis wants to pick up a player or two, veteran, to help take the pressure off Ja Morant. Why? I have no idea. Because at this point, they're not going anywhere this year. You might as well wait till next year when you got more availability and more options. John Collins is in the market. Everybody is trying to get John Collins. Their only concern with John Collins is the fact that he always stays in foul trouble. It seems like he doesn't know how to play without fouling. And he plays well with Trae Young, I guess, but I guess him and Trae don't get along as well as people would thought. that they would get along. But they play great together. I just, it's sad to see. Now, here's another thing that's shocking to people. That might be a shocking trade. One of the All-Star, who was in the All-Star game this year, Vucevic, the Voo, Orlando Magic's best player, Vucevic, is involved in a trade. Rumors. People are calling to see about moving him, and Orlando is taking calls. Bet you didn't know about that one. Boom! Who's just an all-star? They're accepting calls. HD, you probably made that happen. They are listening to calls to move him. Hit the like button, good people. Now, the trade deadline is March the 25th. No, he didn't. Aldridge would have probably been out of the league by now. LaMarcus Aldridge was almost off the Spurs because he would not change. He's not a big man. He's just a stretch. He doesn't want no parts of being a big man. He wants to fade away and shoot jumpers. And they were like, this is all he is. This is all you're going to get out of LaMarcus Aldridge. This is why Portland didn't keep him. Listen. No, the Dallas Mavericks, after they beat Golden State this Saturday, a lot of people are going to be putting them on their radar as the best team in the league, and they're going to try to make a deal. They're going to try to move a player or two to try to get either Vucevic. They're one of the teams that's called Orlando about Vucevic. Look, John Collins and their beef has been going on for so long. The cat wants out of Minnesota. Well, it's not going to happen now. Not a lot of people are even called about Karl Anthony Towns because his contract is too large right now, and they don't see him as being someone that can help them at this time. Plus, he's been grieving a lot, so. Now, Montrezl Harrell's name has been involved in trade rumors for Drummond, something that made him go basically crazy yesterday as the Lakers try to pull out a trade to get Drummond on the team, because if they do a buyout, the Nets are he's probably gonna go with the Brooklyn Nets, and they want Drummond badly because they know they need him. Now they might have to give up Trez and a couple of players that they don't want to give up to make that happen, because Cleveland is basically putting LeBron James through the ringer, and they squeezing them for every little bit they can get. And they're like, look, we overpaid $30-some million to J.R. Smith, damn near 40. We paid Tristan $80 million. Like, we overplayed a bunch of bums, all this money for no reason. Tristan Thompson ain't worth 3/4. Nathan Plumlee is 10 times what Tristan Kardashian is. Tristan has turned out to be exactly what they thought he was, a bum. And they've been trying to get rid of him in Boston ever since. Boston went down since Tristan has come to the team. I mean, down. He has not helped in any way, shape, or form. He's probably the worst big man I've seen in years. Footwork, approach of a moron. It's like, does this guy know what sport he's playing? Everybody want to come to Brooklyn. That's crazy. They got a long list of people that want to try to come to Brooklyn. Dude was like, yo, next season I'm going to come play with y'all. I mean, for real. It's become the place the players want to play. I think it's nuts, but all these guys want to team up to basically go against LeBron. Kevin Love right now has been too injured that even if you did get Kevin Love, I just don't think he would be impactful. He can help a team or two, but the Dallas Mavericks was interested in Kevin Love as well as they was with Vucevic from Orlando. I was shocked to hear Vu name in trade rumors, period. You know, Kevin Durant believes JaVale McGee is the guy they need, because JaVale, they only need a big man for a couple of minutes. And Drummond is going to probably want more time than the usual. So they don't really know how to play with Drummond. They know how to play with JaVale, what Kevin Durant does. The Knicks aren't trading for anybody. They were trying to make a move to get a veteran point guard in the position that they were. And Alfred Payton's name was mentioned in trade rumors. But other than that, they weren't really making a big splash this year. This year, they were trying to keep the cap low and build a winning chemistry. And they got Derrick Rose on the team for veteran leadership at that point guard position. And they didn't have to give up Payton to do it. But they might move Payton in the future, for a future trade to get somebody big in there. You don't need John Collins on the Knicks because you have Obi Toppin coming in, So while you got a guy that's developing, you don't want to have a guy who's a star in that position, and he's not trying to give that up. Well, the problem with the Pacers is they lost their player. LeVert is back. They want to make sure Careless LeVert is good to go, but they're without a player right now. So Sabonis and the rest of the team has been playing well, but still, there's a lot of players out there that are not that's not like satisfied with where they are right now. They felt like they would have been a lot better had they had been full strength. Well, injuries have hurt Oladipo to the point where he's not what he used to be anymore, and it's sad when that happens to a player. Well, the Phoenix Suns have a lot of pieces already in place for a playoff push. I just don't know, how they're going to handle a playoff series. They'll end up playing somebody at this position. They end up playing Denver in the first round. Then how that's going to play out. I will give the NBA credit for this. This is probably the most intriguing playoffs that they've had in a very long time. I mean, seriously, this is probably the most intriguing playoffs they've had in a long time. I have not seen the NBA have a playoff or the type of series like this where the first round it could be, like that's monumental. Like both teams have a shot to go to the NBA championship and they're playing in the first round. You're gonna see a lot of that and scratch your head because you're like, man, like anybody could lose this thing. Well, they are. That's why Trez feels upset because his agent told him there's a chance you could be traded. So Trez is feeling that way. Now, Kyle Lowry, they're having difficulties getting Kyle Lowry over to the Clippers. For some reason, like, they're not going for the Luke Kennard situation. They're rather going a whole nother direction. The Clippers are trying to get Kyle Lowry. They're willing to move Luke Kennard and a couple of other pieces. Oh, damn. Well, to me, it's like what the norm is. People ask, like, well, what's the normal? Like, what normally happens in this situation? What normally happens is it comes down to the wire. Teams are going to play bluff to the last minute. They're going to act like they're getting people in. There's a bunch of people. So once you go down that scenario or road, you're going to have a lot of different situations where it show up. And when you see that, oh, Jesus Christ, I cannot deal with this music. I got to go. I'm not listening to this music ever. I'm walking out right now. I cannot listen to that. Sorry. I'm not going to be listening to that. They're going to have to turn that radio off. So I'm coming in there. Yeah, we'll do business another day. I'm not going to go in there and that music is playing. Tell them to change that music. People are crazy. They roll up blunts right in front of the cops. Do people not know smoking weed is illegal? I guess they didn't get the memo. It's like cops done gave up. They just like, I don't care. Go on and roll up. No, what got me is when I'm looking at the situation in front of everything else, I'm like, like I don't really trust it. I don't know why anybody else would, but I know I don't trust it. These situations are bad. Look, I'm going to tell you what some of these teams do. They tell some of the sports writers what to write. They give them something. Like what they call the beat writers that follow the team around like little wag dogs. They give these guys stories to write for their own purpose and narrative. So when the narrative come around, you know what they tell them? They show them the situation at hand. They say, hey, look at this. And this is what we're trying to do. And they trying to leverage something. So they make them write a false story. And they'll say, well, Kyle Lowry doesn't look like he's going to be moved. They'll put those fake stories out. The Lakers are king for it. Fake injury reports, fake people they looking at to try to throw people off. Well, Montrezl Harrell has had nothing but, he's done the same thing he did basically with the Clippers. He's doing here. When his number's called, he's been showing up. His thing is, since AD's been out, he's been able to flourish a lot more than the usual. So he's somebody whose game has stepped up since he's been out. AD has been out. Now my thing is this. This is what the concern with Anthony Davis was when the Lakers have tied themselves to him for so long. When you tie yourself to a player, and please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. We put in a lot of work for y'all. More than you would ever know. But when you put in that kind of work, LaMarcus Aldridge will never have an impact anywhere. He's not an impactful player. He's a role player. He's somebody who was never, Portland tried to make them their A guy at one point. And he was a guy that could score you 20-something points, hitting that little turnaround jump shot. His position has devalued itself over the years. And now he's not as sure of himself. He never really was that type of player to begin with. Well, you gotta look at this. I see the grass is greener on the other side, and I see that LaMarcus Aldridge is somebody who's past his prime. Defensively, he's not good anymore. He can only do that turnaround, and when that's not falling for him, he's very ineffective. And that's not going to help you. And he's someone that requires a lot of babysitting. You got to pat him on the back. He's emotional. I don't know. It's a lot of teams that are acquiring for trades. The Boston Celtics are trying to get Plumlee. They're trying to draw out Plumlee from the Detroit Pistons. That's who Boston really wants. Because Boston know they need. And they trying to dump on us, and we don't want them. I love what the Pistons are doing right now. And by next year, we're going to be a whole new team, baby. Yeah, that's why they suck like an anchor once they got him on the damn team. Myers Leonard, after making that racist statement where he's claimed he didn't know what the word was that he was saying, well, yeah, well, if they trade for Nathan Plumlee, then you might have a point. But I don't see that happening anytime in the future. I'm actually recording the Duke game. I was watching the Duke Louisville game. Everybody's high on Gonzaga. What's going to happen to Gonzaga? Out of it. Oh, somebody's in here talking about the Bears. I'm like, the Bears? This is not a football chat. No, Well, the Chicago Bulls aren't making any moves. We know that. The only move they'll be trying to make is to trade Zach LaVine. If anybody starts playing above what they're supposed to do on the Chicago Bulls, they trade them right away. They're gonna be, man, this guy's got potential. He's got moves. He's doing this. He's doing that. Yeah, we might have to get rid of him. He's doing way too much. Let's get rid of him. This guy's trying to play himself out of town. Well, let's make that happen. Yeah. I mean, if they make a move like that and they make the trade, I would be one of the most surprised people in history. Yeah, I was going to watch Saturday's game at Gavin's house, but Gavin doesn't like to watch the games. So he get to see Steph Curry versus Luka, and going to see what Luka do to Steph. Well, tonight it's been all college. I don't even think the NBA is playing tonight. I think they kind of taking the week off. I mean, the Drummond sweepstakes, the Lakers know they'll probably have to trade in order to get him. So, in order for them to land Drummond, they're going to have to pull off a G. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because if they buy out Drummond out of his contract, Cleveland does, and they end up having to do the buyout deal with Drummond, he's probably going to sign with Brooklyn. So the Lakers know they need to just do a trade for him and do it fast, or they wind up with nothing. Which is even worse. So everything starts back tomorrow. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, nobody's really talked about the Bucks. Yeah, they've kind of been forgotten about. And people are treating them like an anomaly almost. It's been all this Brooklyn talk. Well, when you spent all your money on one player, when you spend all your money on one player, and then you overpay for some other guys, Middleton is his friend, so he's gonna keep Middleton on the team. Once you start doing all these things, and you're overpaying for people that shouldn't even be overpaid for, you put your team at such a disadvantage. Man, I think today is Tuesday. I've been thinking today was Tuesday all morning. That's what happened when you sleep time. You know, the nighttime is when you thrive. I'm trying to switch my schedule and get myself adjusted to being back in the mornings. That's a hard process. Well, you got to look at it from every angle, all the prospects. You know, what is the prospective answer to the question? Is LeBron James worthy of having any more players on his team? For what? Nobody really wants to play with this guy anymore, and especially not the younger players. They definitely don't want to play with him. Because all these guys are in communication with each other. They ain't going to tell the press, but they talk to each other. And the word is out about playing with LeBron. A lot of people don't want to go through that scrutiny. You're not going to get any of the credit. He's going to get the credit and the glory, and you're going to do all the work. And in the end, he's like, well, at least you get a championship. Yeah, that don't normally happen with LeBron. LeBron lose chips all the time, B. So but look how many people have suffered. Look how many people have suffered just playing on a team with LeBron. You know? Anyone would rather have Luka than LeBron. One, you got a better teammate. You have a better player. And if he was playing on a better team who wasn't so selfish, Luka could have got the MVP of the All-Star game. But since he was playing with a bunch of selfish bums, they wouldn't let Luka shoot the ball, really. And Zion Williamson, man, he was putting up nothing but sploos the entire time. Like the whole time, he's missing dunks, missing layups. It was terrible. I looked at the All-Star game ratings. It's like a lot of people tuned out after the halftime. A lot of people didn't watch the second half of the All-Star game. Like after the dunk contest went off, they were pretty much done with the All-Star game. I remember us doing a StreamYard for that, and that was it. But the Pistons better not trade Nathan Plumlee. We signed him to a 3-year, $22 million deal, and I think he's going to honor it. He's already proven to be monumental for the team. Well, Mark Cuban is building a Euro team over there in Dallas. So the more Euro players he's gotten, he's thinking like, hey, we just need to keep stacking this team full of Euros. And we're going to be great. The Dallas Euro Mavericks. Mark Cuban ain't going to know. I mean, they're from like all over. Who are you talking about? KCP? I bet they wish they had that back too. That makes no sense. Well, when someone doesn't bring value, innate value to the team, You know, it is what it is. But that's what LeBron does. He gets people to buy his friends and keep his friends on the team. Don't forget, if you didn't see it, the truth behind the real Tommy and Ghost of Power. That video is up now. Check that out. The Patreon version is coming later on tonight. And your boy Carcino is out.